My name is Purge and I approve the content in this video.
Hey guys, this is SunsFan and welcome to the official Dota Cinema Guide to Invoker. If you aren't familiar with this hero, you may want to watch the introduction we did for him at the corresponding link. Invoker is an intelligence hero who does not follow normal convention, as he can utilize a total of 10 spells, with help from his 3 reagents as well as invocability. Because of the sheer quantity of spells at his disposal, he can play a multitude of roles very efficiently. There are 3 accepted skill builds for Invoker. Keep in mind that each build can be customized to a great degree, but one thing remains constant: you'll want to level Invoke at the earliest levels of 2, 7, 12, and 17. Build number 1 is called the Quas Wex build. The skills you'll utilize most throughout the game are Cold Snap, EMP, and Tornado. This will give you tons of HP regeneration, meaning you're very durable in lane. In addition, you'll have good mobility thanks to Wex, which should give you an opening to gank the side lanes. During the early stages, you'll focus mostly on Quas in order to maximize Cold Snap. Once you get a second level of Invoke, however, you'll want to start focusing more on Wex, since your Tornado and EMP will benefit greatly. And although you don't level Exhort heavily until later, you'll still max it out before Quas in order to take advantage of damaging spells. Build number 2 is Quas and Exhort heavy. We'll call it the Forge Spirit build. By focusing on Exhort early, you'll gain tons of damage, not to mention Sunstrike, which with a little map awareness you can net an easy kill, which will lead to an early experience advantage. Exhort in combination with an early focus on Quas will open you up for the devastating Forge Spirit and Cold Snap combination. By level 11, you should have enough in Quas and Exhort to create 2 Forge Spirit units. Before you get to that point though, you should put a level in Wex, just so you have access to all your spells, most notably Ghost Walk for those sticky getaways. Once you've maxed out Exhort, you should start working on Wex a little more, so all your spells are a little bit more rounded. Build number 3 is more Exhort heavy. We'll call this the Nuke build. By maxing Exhort relatively early, you'll have very powerful nukes such as Sunstrike and Deafening Blast, the latter of course needing 1 level in both Quas and Wex. In addition to this, your Chaos meter will be beastly as far as damage is concerned. As you can see from this build, you get 1 level of Quas and Wex pretty early in order to have access to everything. Once you hit level 4 on Quas though, like in other builds, you want to start maxing Wex. Sometimes getting a little more in Wex is needed if your meteor really needs the extra range. Just level as needed in your particular game. For starting items, it really depends on what skill build you'll be following. If you're going for build number 1, where you go heavy Quas and Wex, then the standard is a Blade of Attack with 1 Iron Branch and Tango. For build number 2, you have a choice between the Blade of Attack or just more stats and regen for a better laning experience. For build number 3, you need regen and stats badly. But regardless of whatever build you follow, get a wand at some point. Generally speaking, boots of choice on Invoker are phased, since they'll provide you with excellent move speed and attack damage. But for build number 2, you should choose between treads or arcane boots. Treads will leverage the extra damage from Exhort a little bit, while arcane will allow you to just nuke constantly. During mid-game, drums are a very popular item of choice, as they provide excellent stats as well as move speed, which is always helpful for a hero with a wide variety of spells. After this, no matter what build you're following, a Force Staff is required. Even though the stats aren't as helpful as they used to be, the mobility adds so much for a hero like Invoker. After this, your options open up a little bit. If you're going for Exhort heavy, a Yules is not only a good pickup for extra move speed, but will also provide you an easy opportunity to land a Sunstrike, followed by a Deafening Blast and Meteor. Acronyms is also a great choice, since it will provide good stats and lower your Invoke cooldown significantly, on top of making the mana cost 0. In certain games, a BKB will be needed if you're the focus of heavy magical damage. For later in the game, a Scythe of Vice should be on every single list. It provides great stats, and arguably the best disable in the game. Into the luxury and situational, a Blink Dagger is really great in certain situations. It provides you an easy initiation and guaranteed usage of Ice Wall. An Orchid is also really solid against mobile heroes, and will in addition give you great mana regeneration. Past that, and if your fingers are up for it, a Refresher can be bought, so you'll have access to 20 spells. First and foremost, you need to be familiar with this hero before you start playing him seriously. The little nuances make all the difference. As you probably know, Invoker is unique in the fact that you do not need to level up stats at any point. They're built into the Quas, Wex, and Exort skills. Quas is known to give HP regeneration as long as you have it activated, but will also give passive strength as long as it's leveled. Wex, on the other hand, gives both attack speed and move speed bonuses when activated, but will passively give agility. Lastly, Exort gives damage when active, and will passively give intelligence. Now let's go over some common skill combinations. Keep in mind that if we listed every single possible skill combination, then this guide would be quite long, so we'll stick with just a few. Cold Snap is great by itself, but will also help set up a Sunstrike. In addition, and once you've leveled up a bit, the Forge Spirit Cold Snap combination is very hard to deal with. Next is the Tornado EMP, which as of late is a little more difficult to pull off. EMP will not damage units when they are cycloned. Because of this, you need to have a good feel as you're leveling of not only how much time the units will be in the air, but how long your EMP will take to explode. This is a devastating combination if pulled off correctly, and it's only really countered by multiple arcane boots on the opposing team. Next we have the Ice Wall and pretty much any other spell. The real problem is getting an Ice Wall off properly. This is why mobility is so important on Invoker. But if you do get a nice Ice Wall off, then that opens you up for an easy EMP, Sunstrike, and Meteor. Cold Snap on a unit caught within the Ice Wall is also pretty dirty. But my personal favorite is the Blink Dagger initiation into Ice Wall and then popping your Forge Spirits. Finally, we get to the oldest combination in the book. Chaos Meteor into Deafening Blast. Kinda like the Tornado EMP combo, you really need to have a grasp on how each level of these skills feel. In theory, pushing units back with a Deafening Blast works perfectly with Chaos Meteor, since it'll just follow along with that juicy meatball. But of course you run into the complications of how long the knockback duration will last, and what the range of your meteor is. Overall, Invoker is a utility hero. He can be built to push relentlessly, he can be built to stop pushes, and he can also turn into a carry if desired. It's up to you to figure out what your team needs most. Friends of Carl really depend on what build you go for. For the Quas Wex build, follow-up initiators are great to follow your Tornado EMP. Some nice AoE skills to accompany you are Earthshaker with his Echo Slam, Sand King with his Epicenter, and of course Tidehunter with Ravage. For the Forge Spirit build, any pusher would be happy to partner up with you. A few examples of this include Nature's Prophet, Shadow Shaman, and Lone Druid. For the heavy Sunstrike or nuking builds, you'll want heroes that can help set you up. Quick examples of that include Shadow Demon with his Disruption ability, Crystal Maiden with Frostbite, and pretty much any hero with a stun, come to think of it. Heroes that Invoker doesn't like are difficult to come by, because technically you can build Invoker so many different ways that you could potentially counter everyone. So with that, we'll say Invoker's biggest enemy is you. If you're in over your head or just skill him incorrectly for what you're going up against, then it's your fault. Oh, and he hates Rubik too, actually. Nobody likes getting their skills used on them, especially not Carl. Thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe to our YouTube. Also, a big thanks to Flawless and Purge for their help in writing this guide. You can check out their awesome channels in the video description. Also, be sure to visit our website at dotacinema.com and visit our Facebook at facebook.com/dotacinema.